Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back once again to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. And it is a chilly morning today. I think the white raven was spotted in the area by some guy named John Snow, so winter is on the way, definitely. I'm going to be showing you a 2023 Mountain Aire today, and I haven't done one of these in a while, and there's a lot of features when you step up to the Mountain Aire over the Dutch Star that you get, and I'll go over them as we walk around. First of all, this is on a K3 Spartan chassis, and it is a 500 horse Commins, 1,695 foot-pounds of torque. You can see we've got the Girard roof mount awnings up there. We have one of them that must have come back in when the wind picked up a little bit there. And as I walk around this, you know, a lot of the things on the Spartan and the Freightliner are the same, and I'll point this out. It is still a Newmar, remember, and the first thing I always like to point out is right here, and this is your protective steel plate for your fuel line right here. As I pointed out many times, when you shred a front tire, there can be a lot of damage, and one thing you don't want to get damaged is that fuel line. Okay, as we walk down here, this first compartment has the refrigerator freezer. This tray is long enough that it'll pull out all the way, even with the slide out. And as you can see here, we've got two separate compartments. You could set one for frozen meats and one for drinks. Another nice addition they did a couple of years ago is added this shelf above the freezer. It's, you know, some valuable storage space. It's big enough to put your camp chairs and things like that in there, so nice little addition. Right here we have our 43-inch Samsung TV with our Bose soundbar, and this does pull out and tilt for you. And boy, if you're much shorter than 5'8", this is kind of hard to reach once you get it open. In these next two compartments, we have a couple of slide trays, and these are manual ones. When you get up to the Essex and King Air, they're going to be electric. But they pull out from either side all the way. And this is also a good spot to point out our star foundation, which is this structure right here. Newmar welds their star foundation, which stands for strong, true, and robust. And they weld this to the main chassis rails. One of the unique features, if you look at your floor joists up here, you notice they're not sitting directly on the main chassis rails. You don't get as much twisting and torquing. You're not going to pop your grout or break tiles with this setup. It's a stronger foundation. And again, I always like to point out the flush wall slides here. Makes for a much quieter ride because you don't have the air noise rushing in around the seal, and you don't have that wind and weather being driven in with this flush slide here. Okay, moving back to this compartment. Goes back there about 2/3 of the way. You see a couple of components on the other side. Right here we do have our central vac. You can see the bag with the hoses and attachments there. It's nice to be able to clean out your compartments when you're done using them, especially if you're down in the desert somewhere. You can get a lot of sand in here, so very convenient to clean it out yourself, and you can use that inside also. And then back here we've got a couple of storage racks. Behind the pegboard is your water tank there, so you know you don't have a very deep compartment, but they still make it practical to use, which I really like. A couple other things about this one. We've got our side lights, you know, when you're hooking up at night, and you also have cameras. I think there's 6 of them around here. One of the cameras is right up here. Great for the 360 view, or you know, when you want to keep an eye on what's around you in the park. I'll show you that a little bit more as we go inside. You can tell by the hubs that this is a steerable tag axle. Now the Spartans, I believe, can't about 14 degrees, where the Freightliner's a little more at about 17 degrees. But these steerable tag axles really cut down the turning radius. They make it a lot easier to back into a tight spot. Once you're up over 20 miles an hour, these do lock into place. Okay, this compartment, we've got our DEF. And 150 gallons of fuel with this, so you've got a 15-gallon DEF tank. But what we've got right here is a way you can raise your suspension. In an emergency, if you should need to, you can hook an air hose up there and manually pump your airbags up to lift it if for some reason your compressor's not working. And then in this last compartment, here's one of the good things about the Spartan. Of course, we've got our chassis batteries, our master disconnects, but we also have our air dryer, our water separator right here rather than mounted in the back. It makes it a little bit easier to access, and it opens up that back end a little bit more. And I'll go ahead and show you that right now. So this is the engine. It's the 11.9 500 horse Commins, developed 1,695 pounds of torque. This chassis has a 54,000 gross vehicular rating, and empty, this unit, it's in the 44, 45 range. Basically, you've got between 9 and 10,000 pounds of cargo capacity, and it also is rated to tow 15,000 pounds. Right here, when you open the back hood, very easy to see everything you need to in the engine. You got your engine oil where you add it. Your dipstick is down here. By the way, we've got a compressor, a quick connect right here for hooking an air hose up, filling up your tires or your toys. This is your coolant. It's got a little window right there so you can keep an eye on it. Over here we've got our transmission dipstick and fill. This is a little gauge for our air filter, which is right in here. Very easy to get to if you're the type of person that wants to change it yourself. This tells you when it's getting up in the red, your air filter is a little dirty, probably time to change it. We also have our Oasis fill right here. Everything is so easy to access. It's really nice when you get these side radiators. And then, as I said, we're rated for 15,000 pounds of towing. Here's our 2-inch receiver hitch. We do have the setup for the Voyager cameras, so if you're pulling with the stacker trailer, you can hook that in. 7-way plug. This is for your Air Force One system right here. So if you're pulling a vehicle with air brakes, you're all set up to hook into that. And when you look at the back cap too, you can see we've got another backup camera here, but it's just a great looking unit. One thing that I'll talk about that you don't see, and a lot of things that are important are things that you can't see at all. But we had some rain this morning, a lot of mist, there was a lot of water dripping off it, but you don't see the streak running down the sides. And the reason is, Newmar integrates their drain, their gutters, inside the body of the coach. So as it drains to the front or back, it comes down internally, and you'll see it drip down here, but you won't get that black mark on the outside like a lot of other coaches will have. And then another thing, that is our air intake right up there that you're looking at. Okay, moving down the driver's side, again, side radiator. I've talked about this before. You get better cooling, better airflow here. We do have another place to put our DEF in, so you can fill the DEF and the fuel from either side. Little storage compartment here. And you know, your gloves or anything that getting dirty, you just want to throw them in there. Very convenient. And then we move over here to the water compartment. And as you can see, this has the macerator system right here, but you can also drain it the old-fashioned way, use the gravity drain. Whole house filter, these are your bypass valves when you're getting ready to winterize it, and you can tell by the blue fluid that we're winterizing all our units right now. Gray tank rinse out, black tank rinse out. We've got our low point drains right here. This is for the RV SantaCon. Autofill. Another thing that I like, I'll show you right here, you've got a little monitor here for your gauges, but also you can get in here and start your generator from right here. Kind of a nice feature if you ever need to start it for some reason when you're out here working in the water bay. Outside shower, we do have a power hose reel for our fresh water line. And then you can see your dump bells right there. They do circulate heat down there. So this is a heated compartment. You don't have to worry about freeze-ups. Then a nice place for a roll of paper towels right there. I like the fact that these aren't decals either. They're actually embossed on. They're kind of raised letters, but they're not going to come off on you, so, you know, they'll be there in 20 years. Right here we have our 50 amp power cord. This is on an electric rewind, so it's a manual out and then power in. This compartment, we also have a input for cable TV possibly, or if you have a portable satellite. We have our surge protector and transfer switch right here. You notice the LED light come on when I open that door. This one has our Oasis system. Seems like I've been here quite a bit this week and I've talked about it a lot, but beautiful thing about this, it's actually cold, and I turned on both electric elements inside, but not the burner. For one thing, it makes a little bit of noise, and there's plenty of noise from the highway traffic, so I didn't need that on. But you know, in these 45, 50 degree temperatures, it will heat off the electric elements just fine. Here's the back of our slide-out trays. And as you can see, these are full pull-out trays in both directions. Have a few extra floor tiles laying in there. Little smaller tray right there. And then this is our battery compartment, and as you can see, we've opted for the lithium batteries. You could actually get a third one right here, and with that you get two 3,000 watt inverters, and there's also 400 watt solar panels on the roof. So if you are going to be doing some dry camping, you could stay out a long time. Generally, people don't take these very far off the grid, but you know, if for some reason you're at a festival or an event and you don't have power, you can work off these lithium batteries for a long time. Again, another fuel fill, and like the other side, it does have that protective cover. And then this last compartment is the circuitry for our chassis, and you've got some spare fuses here, but also this unit, which is equipped with a 12.5 generator, actually has a power extend for your generator compartment. And nice thing, if you need to work on it, you can step right inside quite easily. 12,500 amp or kilowatt generator, which from the Dutch Star, a standard is an 8,000. They jump right up to the 12.5 with the Mountain Aire. So that's a lot of the things where things start to get bigger, a little more luxurious. You go from a 49,000 pound chassis to a 54,000, 12.5 generator, the bigger 365 tires. Right here we've got a hot water line, and the nice thing about this, there's actually a squeegee in this compartment where I open the generator, and you can wash your windshield off if you've got bugs all over it. Makes it real convenient. Another place you can hook into your air system right here. Windshield wiper fluids, fuel filters, everything very easy to access. And also, I always like to point out the big horns, the trucker horns. Those are always fun to use. let me step out of here and I'll close that up. You can see right here is where that squeegee is, and this will extend. And you know, with such a tall windshield, it's nice to have something like that, because when you pull into a fuel station, you're not going to be able to reach the top if you use theirs. I'll go ahead and close this up. Now, past couple days I was talking about the Superstar and the Dutch Star. They all have the mobile eye, which is your lane assist, lets you know when you're going out of your lane line and so forth, which is standard. And then the collision mitigation is an option. Well, in the Dutch Star, you get both. You get the collision mitigation system, the On Guard, and you have the mobile eye, both as standard features. Okay, let's take a look inside. I like to leave the front two slides in so you can get a look at what it's like when you're traveling. Okay, here we are with the 4551 floor plan. Let me just walk through here. Show you that it is possible to get all the way back into the bedroom, into your refrigerator while you're traveling. If you want to make a sandwich or get something to eat, it's quite easy to get in here. And the bathroom door, the way it opens, even a very large person can access this half bathroom while you're traveling. We'll show you a little bit more about that once we get it opened up. Let me come on back and get these slides open for you now. And there we go. So everything from a Dutch Star up has what they call more floor in these Newmars. Basically, it's tile in your slide outs. And if you look at this full wall slide, how it's a couple 3 inches above the main floor, as it rolls out, the rollers don't even touch that floor. And then when it gets all the way out, it drops down for you. These aren't the fastest slides in the business, but they really are some of the most dependable. And that comes down and gives you a nice flush floor. No carpet at all. This is all tile throughout. Okay, so as long as we're up front, there's a couple of things I want to point out on the dash here. Let me go ahead and get seated and I'll get this started up. First of all, on your cameras, and you can see it's got the 360 set up, which is kind of your bird's eye view here. You can also set this if you want to look at both sides and the back and all four corners. I like this way the camera works. I'm really, happy to have the backup camera with 3 settings. You can get the panoramic view, you can get your standard view, maybe you're pulling a trailer with your Harley, you want to keep an eye on it. But this is a nice view because you're looking right down on your hitch. Makes it real easy to hook up when you're backing into your trailer. Okay, a lot of this is standard as far as your gen start, your courtesy lights, your overhead fans, your visors, your shades are all right here. But when we get to the dash, there's a couple of things I do want to show you that are a little bit unique. First of all, we have a TPMS system right now. It's showing, saying that there's low pressure on those front. I suppose those are supposed to be between 105 and 110, but you can see they're all pretty consistent right there. And one of the things you get when you get up to this chassis, to this level, you have 2 leveling systems. You have your hydraulic levelers, but you also have an air leveling system. And I'm going to show you a couple of things about that right now. Now, I could auto level from right there, but I'm going to go down where it says more, hit this, and this kind of gives you how far out you are from being level on each side. Now, I'm in the travel mode. If I want to go to the auto level mode, which I'm going to do right now, and there we go. It'll take a few seconds. But I believe we are cutting to an outside shot now, so you can be able to see how this will level. And I'm not using my main levelers with the heavy pads. So if I pull over in a parking lot, I'm just staying for the night or a few hours and I want to level it, I can do it all right here off my airbags. As you can see, these are going to be adjusting, and the bubbles are getting back to level. That's just a really convenient thing to have. And you know, when we step out now, because our front end is low, that step's going to be 4 or 5 inches taller off the ground. But just a really unique system. Everything from the Mountain Aire on up has that. And if I wanted to go back to the travel mode, just hitting OK, and there we are. Now we're back to travel. There's actually, if you look on the travel, I can have it at high ride. Maybe I've got a garage where my header is so close to the top of my air conditioner, I want to be on low ride so I can dump it right down and kind of crawl in there without scratching anything. But most of the time, you're just going to have it on standard. So kind of a unique feature. And, you know, it comes in handy once you know you have it and you know how to use it. We also can scroll down to our setting, our trip information, fuel mileage. There's our TPMS. This is our adaptive cruise control. And you can see the distance, it says long. So what you can do is you can adjust that. It'll adjust when it gives you the warning as you're pulling up on traffic. Most people leave them on the long setting or maybe the medium setting. And then again, back to the air leveling. So nice glass dash, very comfortable seats. These are Villa seats. One thing about the Spartan chassis, they still put their Allison transmission pad over here on the left, which doesn't bother me at all. I know the Freightliners have it up here on the column. You can see your main levelers are right here. We've got our tag dump, engine brake on and off, and this is a 3-speed engine brake right there. Charging pad, all right here. Let me point out a couple of things on the passenger seat also while we're right here. Now this is the extra wide passenger seat, or the grandma seat we used to call it. So over here, the first thing I probably want to do is hit my step cover. There we go. And if you notice, there is another monitor on this side. Well, they may not have this programmed yet, but what it's going to do is allow me to switch through my camera views. I can go to my navigation. Once you accept that, I don't have the screen off right now. And like I say, you can actually monitor a lot of the things here that the driver is doing over here on these 10-inch screens. And then you also have a nice little workstation. Let me get this pulled out, get my monitor out of the way. There we go. So if you want to sit here and work on your laptop, or, you know, make yourself a little snack and eat it here as you're going down the road. And then also these, both seats, let's see if I can find it. That's my lumbar support. They've got a great lumbar, very comfortable. And there it is. Was looking for these. Let me move back a little bit. Looking for this footrest. So as you're going down the road, you can relax, you can tilt your seat back. Of course, the driver's seat has a safety in it, so that footrest isn't going to come up while the engine is on. And they call these the grandmother seats because in the olden days, not that I'm old, you could sit here with your grandchild beside you, which a lot of people used to do. So let me go ahead and get rid of this step cover. You also have, you know, your visor controls, you have your ceiling lights right here, patio lights, and another charge pad right here for the passenger. Get that in all the way. Okay, and let me go ahead and shut this engine. Oh, while we're here, you know, I went to just demonstrate this yesterday. Didn't work quite how I wanted. Let me get this adjusted. We do have adjustable pedals. You can see right there as they're coming in and out. And then this other knob here is for my comfort drive. So as I'm going down the highway, I probably got it at 4 or 5. I tighten it up a little bit. When I'm in the campground maneuvering, I probably set it down to 1. And what this is, it's a computer-assisted steering setup that's sensing the torque on the wheels, the crosswinds, the crown roads, and so forth. And as you're going down the road, it's going to correct for those and keep the wheel in the middle position. You can see I can turn this very easily with one finger. All the weight on the front tires, we're not moving a bit. And here we go, right back to the center position. On a long drive, when you make that turn, you're not steering it back the other way. You're letting the comfort drive do that work, so it's not nearly as stressful on your arms and shoulders after 6 or 8 hours behind the wheel. Okay, let's go ahead and shut that off. Show you a little bit more up here. We do have, there's our awning controls right there, and there's a button to run those in and out manually if for some reason they're not working for you. Little storage compartment there. We do have the optional 43-inch TV here, and we have the 50-inch TV in the televator. These are our main controls, and one thing I like to show you when you get to the climate. So we got our floor heat here. That is another standard feature in the Mountain Aire, where in your Dutch Stars, that's going to be an option for you. And then let me see, I'm looking for my Oasis, and of course, oh, there we go. So you can see I've already enabled the 2 electric elements, and it's actually pretty warm in here. They've been on for a half an hour or so, but you know, this is your main control. In 2024, they moved this to the middle of the coach, but 23s are right here with your slide out controls, your privacy curtains. This is your Girard awning. Let me see, I think it was channel 2 came back in for some reason. I'll go ahead and run that back out. Slide out controls. This is our solar panel monitor right here. Winegard satellite system. Everything right here, easy to touch. We also have the Wi-Fi, I think this is the Everest Wi-Fi router. Over here, we've got a couple more storage compartments. Now, as we move back into the coach, this is a pretty common setup with the theater seating and the fold and tumble. I'm going to come over here to one of my monitor panels, and you've got 8 or 10 of these around the coach. Get into my systems. And then I'm going to lift that televator up. So as that's coming up, I'll demonstrate the recliners here. They're actually, oops, where'd we go? I don't have any 110 power right now. That's why these aren't working. I should have left that generator on, so let me go ahead and fire that up. There we are, and it takes, you know, a few seconds for the power, the crossover circuit to sense it, and in a minute our microwave come on, and then these will start working. Notice we've got a couple of lighted cup holders, and red and blue. We are non-political here. Unlike Camping World, we don't care what your affiliation is. We'll give you both. Let's see, we got our power. Not quite yet, but I'll demonstrate this later as we come back. Over the theater seating here, we do have some nice storage. And this is a big open compartment. I like the fact that you can get your longer items in here without having to fight with it. Nice hardware, hidden hinges. There we go. I just heard my microwave come on. Just wanted to show you that I wasn't kidding. And I could watch TV very comfortably. Probably within a half an hour I'd be asleep sitting in this. Then across from our theater seating we have what we call the fold and tumble couch. Now you can have the option to have 2 couches here if you need extra sleeping. And if you do, you get a queen size pull-out bed where your theater seating is, and kind of a jackknife couch over here. But when they do the theater seating, it's a double wide bed, fold and tumble they call it. Very easy once you find this strap to release it and set this up. And this just folds down, and there you have it. And again, this is Villa furniture, very comfortable, very, dense pad here. Could easily sleep, 2 small people or a couple of children there. And then when you're ready to go, as you can see, we do have a couple of seat belts here. We do have seat belts in the theater seating. So you can put 6 or 7 people in seat belts in this coach. Drop that back in. There we go. Make sure it gets seated down there all the way. And it's just that easy. And then over your couch and TV, a few more storage areas. That middle one, you've got room for a DVD player or any video components that you want to bring. And another thing, this is a 50-inch TV. We have the Bose 900 soundbar up above here with the subwoofer. I like to point out how Newmar, contours this. It's not a flat bank of cabinets. They really give it a nice designer effect with the crown molding, the way some of them are offset. Newmar just does a beautiful job on the cabinetry all the way around. So you move down here to the kitchen, a couple more storage cabinets. This one's got a nice pull out. Convection microwave. Down below here, we do have an induction cook surface and a couple of cutting boards on the back of your covers. This can be lifted out, unplugged, taken outside and plugged in, or taken anywhere and used for that matter. Any metallic pan, anything a magnet will stick to, will work on this. Next to that, we've got our humongous stainless steel undermount sink. Also, this window is an option. It's a nice feature too. These have the MCD power shades, day and night shades, but they don't come standard with a kitchen window, so that's a nice feature. Underneath here, a little more storage, a couple of pullouts. Another little compartment there. All these tiny little spaces do get used, and I like the fact that Newmar doesn't go cheap in the tiny spaces. Look at the dovetail joints there. Just beautiful cabinetry all the way around. We also have a dishwasher. Above here we get a large utensil drawer. You've got all your remotes here. That's for your awnings. You do get some touch-up paint. It's always a 4-color paint job, and if you put a little scratch on it, a lot of times you can just go up and touch it up yourself. That's for your filter outside, your water filter. And then we also have an extension right here, and 3 more full pull-out drawers. All of these have the soft close feature to it. So when you are prepping a meal, if you need some extra counter space, makes it real convenient. All right, across from the kitchen, we've got our Euro booth. And First of all, let me show you the storage up here. You have 3 more compartments, and again, all of them open. The stiles are solid hardwood. There is no veneer wraps anywhere on this coach. The table does have a couple of leaves that fit in there, and 2 matching chairs under the bed that I will show you. They match the fabric here. Behind that we have our 19 cubic foot residential refrigerator. I think it's 19.7, so this is a little bit bigger than the ones you're going to get in the Dutch Star and the Ventanas and so forth. Very large pantry. And you know, in 23 they started doing this. You've got, you know, different compartments and spaces there, and I like that for your baking sheets or cutting boards or anything. It's just a really clever innovation that they come up with. And you also have 5 full pull-out drawers, again with the dovetail joints. Now, one thing about the 45-foot models, you just get a little bit more room all the way around, and that's particularly noticeable here in the half bathroom. Typically, I've got to get in here and open up some cabinets and get out of the way. There's no room to show it while I'm standing here, but not the case with this one. So right here, we've got our main fuses, our breakers. Everything is labeled. We've got a label right here for you on the back of this door. Some spare fuses in there. Got a nice pull-out drawer there. Storage underneath for, you know, toilet paper or whatever. And then over here we get more storage underneath. A lot of counter space here for a half bathroom. There's our medicine cabinet, the GFI plug up in there. Nice accent lighting, backsplash, countertops, wallboard. It's just a beautiful coach all the way around. And again, this is a unique design with this center hinge, center pivot on the hinge. It allows that door to open up all the way, even when the slides are in. Okay, moving back into the bedroom. First, I'll show you, they've got nice solid wood doors. There's always a little gap at the bottom for airflow, and if you've got the tiny RV dog, they can get in and out on their own. Okay, as you step inside, we've got our king bed. I will show you these pedestals on the side have a 110 outlet. They have USB ports. If you're, you know, needing a sleep machine at night, you've got a place to put it, or maybe just plugging in your cell phone or charging your electronics. We also have a lot of storage right here. Let me do that the other way. There we go. One of the things I like to point out, you've got a place right here where if I wanted to put my sleep apnea machine up in this compartment, drop your airline down here, you've got a plug up there, so it can kind of get it out of the way. There are also 2 windows that actually open. Nice to get a cross breeze when it's hot in the summer and you just want to turn on your fantastic fans. Underneath here, we do have some storage. You can see we've got 2 table leaves and 2 chairs with matching fabric. I even like the way they pad it around here because I'm always banging something when I'm walking around. Okay, across from the bed, we've got our 43-inch TV. Up here, we've got 4 smaller drawers. And then down below are 6 deep, you know, rather tall pull-out drawers. Again, everything here has got that soft close feature to it. They do give you another place for some video components up here. You've got inputs from your antenna and so forth. Anymore, they don't send these out with DVD players like they used to. A lot of people aren't even using satellite. They're using maybe a streaming service off their Wi-Fi, becoming more common. Okay, and then let's step back into the bathroom. As you come in here, you can see we've got our stackable washer and dryer. There is even a little extra storage down below here. With the 45-footers, you get the big showers. I'll just step in here and show you what I mean. Plenty of room, plenty of elbow room, even if you're a larger person. With this cathedral ceiling here, it gives you more headroom. We do have our water miser, which is basically a system that's going to recirculate your fresh water until this water's warm. Then you start taking your shower. So it saves your fresh water. You're not filling up your gray water as fast. And the teak seat is always a great feature. And this is real tile in here too. This is just beautifully done. Nice waterfall style shower head. And then you do have the handheld also. Okay. Next to the shower, we do have our toilet with our emergency exit right here. If I pull this lower panel down, there's a ladder that drops down, makes it easy to hop out. This is a one-way door. It can't be opened from inside or from outside. Then we get a large closet. You can probably see that a little better maybe from the other side. And I like the built-in shoe rack, very convenient. Over here on the right, you have 5 shelves. And if you want to, you could move the top 2 or 3 and get extra hanging, space for hanging your clothes there. And then we do have our little travel safety latch right here so the door doesn't swing back and forth when you turn corners. Okay, we've got a nice double sink, and I like the lighting here. Let me see if I can, let's turn that ceiling one off and just go with our mirror lights and our accent lights. Just, really a nice ambiance here. You've got dual medicine. Well, I guess this one's on a medicine cabinet. It's access to your plumbing for your washer dryer. But over here in the medicine cabinet, you can see how nicely finished it is, felt lined, and there's even a 110 outlet back in there. Let me see, get some of my main lights back on here. Underneath, we have 4 full pull-out drawers in the middle here. And then a little more storage underneath. One of the things I always like to mention too is the decorative ceiling they have here, and those accent lights are kind of nice. I'll show you what I mean. It's right there. I can turn those lights off at night. Maybe I just want them on a little bit. I can dim those down, turn off my ceiling lights. Make it nice and comfortable to watch TV, kind of a nice feature. Also, the fact that all of these little vents you see here, they're for our air conditioning. It is ducted air conditioning that runs right down the center of the coach. Nice thing about that is if you want to turn your generator on and run your air all the way back here in the middle of the summer for your passengers, it's blowing down in the middle. It's not blowing down on the outside edges over the slide outs when they're in. Okay, in-floor tile heat, like I mentioned. I think you've got a setting from 1 to 10 on this to heat it up. And the electric element is actually in the thin set right below the tile. And the beauty about that is a couple of things. Number one, it heats up faster and cools down faster. But there's 3 zones, and if my bedroom zone's not working, they can actually come in with a sensor and figure out where the fault is, remove one tile, get down in there from the top, repair it, put that tile back, you're back in business. When you use a hydronic heating system, they heat from underneath. You've got at least 2 to 3 inches of subfloor and flooring to heat up. And when you have a problem, it's almost impossible to get under there and fix it. So much better system with the electric grid in the tile. And again, that goes back to the slogan, when you know the difference. Newmar goes that extra effort. Well, I think that's all I have for you today. So I want to thank you once again for tuning in. Once again, my name's Mark Love. I think my information's on the screen if you want to contact me. Happy trails as you're traveling around this winter, and we will see you next time, folks.